Do you ever pretend to be okay, even to yourself? Do you ever get to the point where you don't even know what okay is? Welcome to Big Homeopathy. I'm your host, Sarah Thompson. Hi, welcome to Big Homeopathy. I'm your host, Big Homeopath, Sarah Thompson. My parents used to have a cat named Trial, and she hated conflict. She was predeceased by her sister Error, whose special neurosis was to run in terror from everything and then cry because she was lonely. But if anyone was in and expressing any kind of tension, Trial would bleat and whine and just generally make it impossible for anyone to talk. And so in this way, she could shut down a conversation and have no tolerance for negative emotion at all and bring everything back to her comfortable status quo. And I may have learned a lot from these two cats. My whole life, I have felt ashamed of being weak. If I was sad or scared, I would choke back the sobs and wash my face like I was told to do and get over it. And the older I got, the pain didn't get any easier to stifle, and the anger that I turned inward on myself metastasized. And the tools that I found for overcoming negative emotion, the power of positive thinking and the magical turnarounds, they became a sinking life buoy for me. I got good at rationalizing my hurt away from view, from myself or from anyone else. But when those tools stopped working and something new would come up, it would just let all that old hurt back out of the basement and I'd have to start all over again. Nothing lifted. I never just felt my feelings. I was always working on them. One of my favorite aspects of homeopathy is that there are these archaic medical terms that are still in use in my profession because the old clinical improving data that we have from the 19th century are still valid, and we use those old texts in our studies. And there's this wonderful term, globus hystericus, which describes that sensation of a lump in the throat with emotion. And I've been feeling that for weeks. I just feel these great desire to vomit grief and hack up my pain, and all that comes are tears. And it's all kinds of tears. It's like 1,000 words for tears. Silent tears at the kitchen sink, great choking sobs in the shower, silent wailing and keening and snot in the middle of the night. But the difference now is that I'm not attached to it. I'm not trying to figure it out or to fix it. I'm not trying to blame anything for it. I'm just gonna cry until I'm done crying. Do you ever pretend to be okay, even to yourself? Do you ever get to the point where you don't even know what okay is? The winter before I got sick the first time, I was in prison. I was in hell. I could not allow myself to feel any of the fear. There was so much uncertainty and anxiety in my life, and the weight of having, felt like I'd failed, and really having felt like that had been pointed out to me. My failure, my inadequacy, my incapacity for living up to my promise and my potential and my birthright. I couldn't allow myself to feel anything, or the sharks of shame would just circle in. And so I just muckled on, and I powered through, and I kept up a semblance of appearances, and I anchored my household so that no one else would have to do it. But when the break came, and I could breathe again. My body didn't stop. I had been pressurized to the marrow, which is a vacuum, and it couldn't let go. My blood filled with blast cells, but they didn't differentiate into anything. It was all just overproduction, overproduction, overproduction. And there wasn't any moment of crisis. It was just this steady, sclerotic march of things kind of seizing up until I was brought to my knees and everything just slowed down and stopped. And I had no choice. And I went to the hospital because I had to surrender to something. And juicing 17 times a day and taking 35 supplements and becoming an expert in leukemia and trying to manage every molecule in my environment was not letting go. It was what cancer looks like. I had to let go. I had to hand over the keys. I had to slip into the stream in order to heal. And sometimes to heal, you got to go through hell. I still didn't know how to cry. It's taken me 9 more years for a total of almost 43 to just let go and cry. Sometimes life hurts, and if you can just be with that pain, it doesn't own you. And I'm sorry, trial, but it'll overwhelm you if you don't let it be. We're back in Maine now, and the leaves are off the trees. It's Novembering hard. There's a rime of ice on all the branches, but everything seems cleaner to me. I think the tears are washing everything away, all the old pain. And that's big homeopathy this week, and I really think it's going to be huge. I will see you next week. Take a moment, if you are enjoying these videos, to click through the links in the description if there are people in your life or if you yourself could benefit from a Transforming Cancer session, which is a free, no obligation session to learn about how homeopathy can help heal in the way that it has helped so profoundly to heal me in my life and to provide the healing that has brought me home. Thank you.